This is the Construction Leading Edge podcast from constructionleadingedge.com. My name is Todd DeWalt, and it's my job to help construction business owners maximize revenue and turn their businesses into well-oiled machines. This episode is all about eliminating chaos by building systems and processes. I'm going to show you a process you can use for creating processes and systems to eliminate chaos in your business. And I'm going to take a lesson that I learned a few years ago from a leak detector. I ran a company, and one of the things that we had was a leak detection device. It was used to find leaks in underground water lines, air lines, that sort of thing. And the way it worked was it was a very sensitive microphone that you placed on the ground, and it listened for the sound created by the turbulent flow coming out of a hole in a pipe or a leak in a pipe. So it listened for the turbulence. And it reminded me of my fluid mechanics class back in school, where we learned about two types of flow. There's laminar flow and there's turbulent flow. Laminar flow is the flow of a fluid when each particle of the fluid follows a smooth path, paths which never interfere with one another. And one of the results of laminar flow is that the velocity of the fluid is constant at any point in the fluid. On the other hand, turbulent flow is irregular flow, which is characterized by tiny whirlpool regions. Particles are constantly swirling around, constantly getting in each other's ways, causing turbulence. Now, if you've ever been in an airplane, you've experienced turbulence. That is turbulent airflow. If you've ever passed a semi on the interstate, you know there's one place where there's turbulent airflow where your car, your truck rocks around. That's turbulence. And another word for turbulence is chaos. If you run a construction business or lead construction projects or teams, you are managing a handful of resources: labor, equipment, material, time, money, and information. And information is a huge part of the business. You are primarily an information broker if you're managing teams, managing projects, managing a business. And it's incredibly important that you have a smooth flow of information, that you have laminar flow of information where bits of information in your business are flowing smoothly. They're not interfering with one another. There's no turbulence. There's no chaos. So this episode is all about how you can eliminate chaos, how to eliminate turbulence by building systems and processes. But first, I want to tell you about a few things. If you own a construction business, I want you to listen closely. I've got several things that I want to give you. I'm giving away the farm here, all right? This makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to do this, but first thing is I'm now offering, right now for a limited time, I'm offering a free 10-day trial of the Construction Business Accelerator program for construction business owners. If you own a construction business or you are starting a construction business, right now you can get my Construction Business Accelerator program. You can get in it for free for 10 days. Test drive it, kick the tires, use it, abuse it, go in there and grab whatever information you need for 10 days for free. You'll have access to the Revenue Maximizer, my Sales Accelerator, the project execution formula, the cash flow solution, all of the stuff that I've put together for construction business owners. You're going to have access to it for free. So to grab your free 10-day trial of the Construction Business Accelerator before they go away, before I change my mind, go to constructionbusinessaccelerator.com and you can grab that. The other thing I have for you, if you own a construction business, I've got some free videos that I want to get in your hands. They are the secrets of successful contractors. There's 3 or 4 free videos that are some of the best resources I've put together. I want to get those in your hands. Secrets of Successful Contractors. You can get your hands on your free copy at constructionleadingedge.com/owner. The other thing I want to tell you about is this is something I'm really excited about. I've put together a live event, a live mastermind event for construction business owners. It's the Advance. It's not a retreat. It's the Advance 2018. It's going to be in Lexington, Kentucky, October 19th and 20th. It's going to be an opportunity for you to get away so you can get ahead with your business. This is for people who own construction businesses. You want to interact with other construction business owners. It's going to be a small group where we work on your business. You're going to get direct one-on-one help with the things that you're struggling with. You're going to be able to listen and help other construction business owners as well. You're going to get one-on-one help from me, and we're going to have a hell of a good time in the process. We're going to go to Keeneland one afternoon to enjoy one of the Bluegrass State's finest traditions, and that is thoroughbred horse racing. It's going to be a great time. To find out more information about that and grab your spot, you can go to constructionbusinessaccelerator.com/advance. And right now, through August 25th, 2018, you can grab early bird pricing for the Advance 2018. It's going to save you about $1,000 over regular pricing. So check that out, the Advance 2018 in Lexington, Kentucky, October 19th and 20th. Go to constructionbusinessaccelerator.com/advance. Grab your early bird spot. Save yourself a bunch of money. And lastly, if you have questions about the Construction Business Accelerator, you're not sure if it's right for you, not sure how it works, if you've got a question about the Advance, if you've got a question about anything, maybe you want to set up a free coaching call with me. I'm offering that to construction business owners. The best thing you can do is just call me. All right, call me at this number. I'm going to give you this number, 859-667-2015, 859-667-2015, 2015. Leave me a message, give me a call, shoot me a text. You can call or text that number, and I will get back to you and answer whatever questions you have. Now, let's talk about eliminating your chaos. So first of all, the purpose of a system is to eliminate chaos. If you don't have chaos, good for you. You probably don't need any systems, or you're just blissfully ignorant of the chaos you're dealing with. So the first step in building a system is to find the areas of chaos. You're going to imagine that you are trying to find the leak in the underground water line. You're going to listen for the turbulence. You're going to find the areas of turbulence, find the areas of chaos, find where things are slipping through the cracks. Where are you wasting time? Where is there rework? Where are you wasting money? Where's the frustration? Where are things slipping through the cracks? I'll give you a few examples. These are ones that I've dealt with in the past. Areas of chaos can include examples like every week the payroll checks are screwed up and we're spending a lot of time reworking checks because of mistakes. Another one is the change requests coming from our clients are overwhelming. We have this overwhelming number of change requests coming from our clients. Another one is that I hear and I've dealt with is I'm spending too much time answering urgent questions. I'm also spending too much time running around delivering materials and running parts to my crews. I'm spending too much time in the truck, in the car, running stuff around, delivering, picking up materials. That's an area of chaos. Another one is I'm spending too much time on non-revenue producing activities. One last example is our flow of information is just chaotic. When a question comes up, 5 or 6 people get involved in this same question, and it's just chaos. There's just a poor flow of information. So those are some examples of chaos. So the first step in building systems is to find the chaos. So look at your business, look at those areas, and just start listing out where are the areas of chaos. Don't do this in a vacuum. Ask your people, hey, where are we falling down? Where's the chaos? Where do you think we can do better? You're not looking for solutions. You're just looking for problems. This is the equivalent of going to the doctor and the doctor asking, so what hurts? You're looking for symptoms. The symptoms are chaos. Next is to pick one area of chaos that you're going to tackle. Just pick one. My advice is to do an 80-20 analysis on these areas of chaos. Assuming you have a list of chaotic areas of your business, do an 80-20 analysis and look for the lead domino. And if you're not familiar with the 80-20 principle, it means it's practically a law of nature, a law of business that says that 80% of your problems will come from 20% of your issues. 80% of your profits will also come from 20% of your customers. 80% of your frustration will come from 20% of your employees, so on and so forth. So all problems in all areas of chaos are not created equal. So do an 80-20 analysis and figure out which one are you going to get the most bang for your buck on. In my case, when I took over a company several years ago, the area of chaos I decided to attack first was the problems with payroll checks every freaking week. Every Tuesday, payroll was payroll day, and it was a nightmare. Guys coming into the shop and the office in the middle of the day, mad because their checks were wrong, they didn't get their hours, they got paid the wrong rate. It was just an absolute nightmare. Nobody got anything done on Tuesdays because of all the problems. So that was the one that I started with. So again, do an 80-20 analysis. Find one that you're going to get the most bang for your buck from, because you're going to have to invest some time in this thing, and then pick it. Pick one and decide you're going to stick with that one until you get through the solution. Here's a common mistake is bouncing from area of chaos to area of chaos, starting processes, if you're from Canada, processes, and not finishing things, just constantly starting things but never getting anything finished. You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to frustrate your people in the process. So pick one area of chaos that is most painful and it's going to have you can get the most bang for your buck. And then here's another common mistake. Common mistake at this point is you've identified an area of chaos, and a lot of people want to jump straight to a solution. Okay, payroll checks are screwed up. Let's go do blank. And that is premature. The common mistakes include, at this stage of the game, signing up for a software service, hiring an employee to solve this problem. Maybe it's hiring a service provider, hiring a subcontractor, a consultant, a CPA, an attorney, etc. All you've done is picked the area of chaos. You're not ready to throw a solution at it yet. This is a common mistake, is to jump to a solution too early. So the first thing you need to do before you get to a solution, whether that be software, hiring an employee, putting a training system in place, whatever it is you need to get to the root cause. All right. All you've done at this point is identify the symptoms. And if you treat the symptoms, that's sort of like taking Advil if your left arm hurts and your jaw hurts. And that's treating the symptoms. The root cause is you're having a heart attack. And that's what a lot of people do in business. They're treating the symptoms, but they're not getting to the root cause. I'm telling you, if your left arm hurts, your jaw hurts, you have nausea, you don't need to take Advil. You're probably having a heart attack. You need to get yourself to the hospital. Call 911. So the key step here is you need to go deeper, find the root cause of the issue. In my case, this example that I'll run with here of payroll checks being screwed up every week, there were several root causes. And a root cause it's a need. It's a need that needs to be solved that is not being solved. So in the case of payroll checks being screwed up, there was what we needed was a process for tracking hours. There was not a consistent process. Timesheets were coming in via text message, email, scraps of paper, phone calls to various people, and every week various people were trying to gather up information from various sources. There was no flow of information. There was no one single point of contact where everything was flowing through. So that was a root cause of the problem. The other root cause was there was no one person who was responsible for it. There was no process. There was no system. There was not good training. The guys in the field didn't really understand what they were supposed to do, and they didn't understand why it was so important. So get to the root causes. What are the underlying causes of these symptoms? And then establish a list of needs. What needs to be done to solve this. And one thing that needs to be on every list, if you're trying to solve chaos, one thing that needs to be on the list of every bit of chaos you're solving is a clear process of how it's done. This is how we do this. Clear step-by-step process. These are all the steps that are involved. And then clearly defined roles and responsibilities. In the case of payroll checks, you need a step-by-step process that looks something like the field hourly employees will track their time using an app like T-Sheets, which is one that I strongly recommend. And I've got some information on that. You can contact me. Send me an email if you want to learn more about T-Sheets. But I think you can go to constructionleadingedge.com/T-Sheets, find out some more information about that. But first step is hourly employees log their time with their smartphone using T-Sheets. Next, office admin reviews hourly employee time cards every day, calls with questions. Step 3, payroll manager runs reports. Step 4, project manager reviews the hourly reports. Step 5, payroll checks are cut or direct deposit, whatever. But there's a step-by-step process of this is how we do this, and then this is when it's due, and then this is who does what. Roles and responsibilities, clearly defined process, who does it, what gets done, who does it, when is it due. This will make your life so much simpler. So this has to be part of every process. Another part of this process, as you go through this establishment of roles and responsibilities in the processes, you'll probably find out that some of your people are doing things they don't need to be doing. That means you'll need to go through what I call a load shedding process, where you are, let's say, rolling administrative tasks off the plates of project managers, superintendents, business owners, and rolling those tasks over to administrative folks. So I'm not going to go really deep into load shedding. Go listen to episode 48 of the podcast to get a deep dive into load shedding and what you can do to offload non-revenue producing tasks from your revenue producing people. All right, so back to needs. Again, you've established your root causes, which are a list of needs that are not being filled. And these needs can include, one we already talked about, clearly defined process, clearly defined roles and responsibilities. That always needs to be there. The needs can also include information. Maybe people are not getting the information that they need. It could be a lack of training. Your team needs more training. They're doing the best they can with what they have, but they just need more training. There could be some physical needs, some environmental needs, meaning space. There could be material needs. Maybe you need to stock certain materials in your shop, in your warehouse, and you need to stop running to the parts house or to the lumber yard every morning to do that, which is one of my number one tips, is to stay out of stores. There could be some personnel changes that are necessary. Maybe you need to hire someone. Maybe you need to outsource some tasks, some activities to contract employees, to service providers, to consultants, to virtual assistants. But some sort of personnel need needs to happen. And there could be, lastly, technology. This is where we tend to jump to technology. But technology is just one of the needs, one of the potential needs. So it could be that you need some sort of system. Maybe you need to buy a piece of software. Maybe you need to build something yourself. Could be really simple. But the most important thing is that you understand what the root causes are and establish a list of needs that need to be fulfilled. And if you have the right list of needs, then you're going to take care of the root causes. That's going to eliminate your symptoms. Next, once you've established what your needs are, and you've put together what the solution looks like that will solve those needs, the next step is to roll this thing out. And The keys to this would be a couple of things. One is to establish what the minimum viable product looks like. This is a term from software development. What's the MVP, minimum viable product? What's the thing that is the most basic, the most stripped down version that solves the problems that need to be solved? No bells and whistles, no extra functionality. Maybe it's not super slick. It's not going to be super slick. It's not going to look great, but it's going to work. So the keys here would be to establish what the minimum viable product is. What's the absolute minimum thing that this solution has to do for you? It needs to solve maybe just one key issue, maybe one key need that it will provide for you, and figure out that. Develop that minimum viable product. Establish a deadline. Give yourself a very short time period to put this thing together, and then commit to having it rolled out very quickly. Roll it out on a limited basis to just a few people. Don't try to roll this out to your entire organization. Maybe pick one person who's going to be involved with it, and pick one person or just one step and start with that. Find somebody who is maybe more technically astute than average. They seem to have an interest in systems and processes, that sort of thing. Roll it out to them, and then get their feedback. See what they think about it. How's this working? Don't just roll it out there and forget about it. Roll it out. Try it for one payroll cycle. Try it for one month. Try it for one project meeting. Try it for 1 week, whatever it might be. Trial period, get feedback, and then iterate. And then make incremental changes on this system. Get the feedback, make those changes, iterate. Maybe once you get that particular step nailed down and that's humming, go to the next step. Get that step nailed down. Once you get all the steps nailed down, then you roll it out to the rest of your team, and make sure that you have the training, the information, the physical needs, the technology, whatever you need. Make sure you are addressing all of those needs, but roll it out incrementally. Iterate and then roll it out incrementally. And expect some frustration, okay? This is not going to be smooth. There will be frustration, and that's not a bad thing. People are very reluctant to change, and there will be some frustration. You'll be frustrated. Your team will be frustrated. Just make sure your team understands why you're doing it, and keep them involved in the process. So that's the process in a nutshell. Let me give you some tips. A few tips to remember as you're building out systems. One, first of all, start with a simple one. Don't tackle a huge nebulous problem necessarily. If you've never built systems or processes before, then just pick something relatively simple that you can implement quickly, get a win under your belt, and show yourself and show your team that you can actually do this. So they're going to be more likely to buy in to the next area of chaos that you want to tackle. As I said, don't jump to solutions prematurely. Make sure you understand what the areas of chaos are. Pick an area of chaos that you want to attack. Then get to the root causes and understand what the needs are. I've seen this so many times where people identify symptoms, then they jump to a solution, and then all they have now is a system that probably causes more problems. Maybe it solved one of their problems, but it's causing more problems than it's solved, and that's a waste of time and energy and attention. Next tip is to automate as much as you possibly can. Don't depend on human memory and your memory to do this. So automate as much as possible. This can be with automated text reminders, automated emails, schedule meetings in advance, but automate as much as you possibly can to eliminate the dependency on human errors. Speaking of human errors, watch out for single points of failure in the process. especially when you're rolling out a new system or a new process, somebody needs to be the second set of eyes who's watching to make sure that things are being done and holding people accountable to make sure the system's being followed. So watch out for those single points of failure, and that should be part of your roles and responsibilities and your written process, is that who it needs to address, who is the person that backs up these people who are potential single points of failure. So you want to have backups. Next, 80-20 this thing every chance you get. Constantly ask yourself, what's the 80-20 here? Where can I get 80% of the output, 80% of the results for 20% of the effort? Don't operate in a vacuum. Don't go into your cave, don't go into your office and close the door and then try to bake this solution and then roll it out by operating in a vacuum. Don't assume that you know everything. Don't assume that you know what the problems are. Involve your folks from the very beginning and all the way through the process. You're going to get a couple of results that way. One, you're going to have a solution that actually works at the end of the day, and your people are going to be much more likely to carry out this system and process and the solution because they've been part of the development of it. Next, beware of perfectionism. Perfectionism is another form of procrastination. Okay, this is going to be uncomfortable. Things aren't going to work necessarily. Things are going to break, but you have to overcome perfectionism, and you do that by stripping it down. As I said, come up with a minimum viable product. Give yourself a deadline to get this thing rolled out, and avoid perfectionism. This is a big problem. I've seen people work on systems for years, tweaking and modifying and making tiny little ridiculous, useless changes to the system and never roll it out. And it just becomes a pet project, and nobody gets any benefit out of it. It's the opposite of eliminating chaos. Next is to maintain a sustainable amount of change. Maintain a sustainable amount of change. Don't overwhelm your people with change. They are out there doing their jobs. They have projects that need to be built, invoices that need to be processed, submittals that need to be handled. They're doing their job, and you have to hit them with a sustainable amount of change. One of the red flags of successful construction companies that ended up self-destructing is an unsustainable amount of change. Too much change, too fast. Everything was constantly changing. So you understand that you only have so much gunpowder, okay? And you need to save your powder, and don't overwhelm your people with change. So maintain a sustainable amount of change. And then one last tip is, throughout the process, try to set up and work toward shared consciousness where it needs to be shared consciousness. Avoid a serial flow of information where information gets passed from one person to the next person to the next person to the next person, and then gets passed back down through that bureaucratic type process. Most information, well, let's talk about information. There's two buckets of information. The first bucket would be scope, schedule, budget type contractual commitments. That's one bucket of information. The other bucket of information would be like FYI type information, submittals, schedules, plans, things that don't have an impact necessarily on the contract. So some information may need to be handed up and down the chain of command. Scope, schedule, budget, contract type information may need to get handed up and down the chain of command. Other information should be available to what I call shared consciousness, where everybody has access to that information. If somebody needs a piece of information that should be in that shared consciousness bucket, then they shouldn't have to go through somebody. They should have access to that information through a shared drive, through some sort of database, a Google Doc, Basecamp, Dropbox. Provide shared consciousness and don't create bottlenecks for information. So there you go. There's a quick overview of that process for creating systems and processes to eliminate chaos. I'm going to do a deeper dive into this and go into more details with some training videos in the Construction Business Accelerator area. So if you are interested in this, then right now, as I said, I'm offering a free 10-day trial for the Construction Business Accelerator program where you're going to get access to a deeper dive on building systems to eliminate chaos, but you're also going to get the Revenue Maximizer, the Contractor Sales Accelerator, the Project Execution Formula, the Cash Flow Solution. Everything that I've got, you're going to have access to it for free for 10 days. If you want to grab that, then go to constructionbusinessaccelerator.com. Also, don't forget, you can grab your free videos, The Secrets of Successful Contractors, over at constructionleadingedge.com/owner. Don't forget also, live event October 19th and 20th. Grab your early bird pricing for the Advance October 19th and 20th in Lexington, Kentucky, over at Construction Business Accelerator/Advance. And if you have any questions about the Advance, about the Construction Business Accelerator, give me a call. Or if you want to schedule a free strategy session, give me a call, 859-667-2015, or you can text me, 859-667-2015. I'll help you out however I can. As always, I appreciate the ratings and reviews you guys are leaving for the podcast. If you could take a minute and leave a rating or review, it helps get the word out there to the rest of the internet world about the podcast because, as I said, I'm all about helping construction business owners maximize revenue and turn their businesses into a well-oiled machine. And the more people I can help, the better off we are. So I'm Todd from constructionleadingedge.com. Thanks for listening. You know where to reach me, and I will see you next time.